Welcome to our backtesting jam session. Today we are testing the daily candlestick trade strategy. So this is one of the simplest trading strategies that I know. So if you're a busy individual, if you have a lot on the go, have a full-time job, this is a good strategy for you because all we're looking for is a single candlestick. And from there, we are making a decision on how to place a trade based on that. So this is a very simple, easy to use strategy, and it doesn't require too much of technical analysis. We're just looking at basic things that we learn at the very, very beginning. So that's what we are looking at. In this strategy, we are going to take a look at each daily candlestick, and then we're looking at how the price is reacting at support and resistance levels. And based on that, we are going to make a decision. So at this point, all we're really doing is just playing a guessing game. So think of it as a game. We're going to guess what the next candlestick would be. So one of the things that I find most people struggle with is finding market direction. Market direction is the first thing that we need to be able to figure out. So if we know where the market is going or where the price is going, then it becomes easier for us to go with the flow and join that flow as opposed to fighting it and being on the opposite side of it, which happens to a lot of new traders. They don't know where the market's going to go. So this exercise here is just a practice in that. And the way I like to learn something or teach Forex trading or anything at all really is by breaking it down into different steps. So the first step, let's say we were playing baseball, the first step is we're just going to swing the bat. So this exercise that we are doing, just looking at the daily candles and then guessing what the next candle will be, is that. So we're just swinging the bat at this point. So we are not overly concerned with the finesse. We are not concerned about how well we are connecting with the ball, where our ball placement is, none of that. So that will come later. So the first thing is getting comfortable with just swinging the bat, understanding where the ball is coming from. So in this case, what our next candlestick will be. And based on that, so once we figure out the market direction, once we get comfortable with our bat, then we can figure out exactly how to hit the ball. Then we can look at what type of ball is coming at us, that type of thing. So we'll refine the strategy later. Right now, we're just going to do the first step. And basically, the way we get good at anything, so the way to practice is to do that thing over and over again. And we do it so many times, we repeat it so many times that it gets ingrained in our mind. And that's our purpose with this. So the strategy is just the daily strategy. So this is the simplest Forex trading strategy that I know. And all we have to do is figure out the market direction, because if we know which way something is going, we can always join in and jump in and go for a ride. So let's get going. Here, what we have is our pound US dollar chart. This is a daily chart, and our time frame is daily, and we are going to go one candlestick at a time. So right now I have paused the test, which means it's not going to go on its own, and we are going to manually. So I'm going to manually go to each candlestick. So before I click the button to move on to the next candlestick, we're going to guess what the next candlestick is going to look like. So that's all we have to do here. We just have to guess, and let's make a game of it, and let's guess what the next candlestick will be. So in this case, we are into the bottom here, into the support level. We see that the price had come into the support level and pushed off, and now price has come into the support level once again, and we have this large pin. So generally, when we have a large pin like this, that's because there were orders sitting here. So when we have a good daily support level like this, generally there will be orders sitting here. And as soon as price comes and touches this level, a lot of orders will get taken in. So some of these orders would be just our profit taking orders. So anybody who's been in this move all this time, they will to book a profit here because they know this is the level that the price had reacted to last time. So they may have a buy order sitting here just to close their trade, or somebody may be coming in to take this either the reversal trade or the pullback here. So they may have a buy order sitting in as well. And that's why we end up getting these type of moves where we get pins or reversals at key levels. So at this point, let's go zoom out a bit. So we can see price had reacted here before. It had gone up quite a ways before it came and tested this level once again. And then when price came here, it pushed back up again. And now this is the third time that price is testing this level, and we already have a pin. So under live market conditions, I would likely not take this trade. I would not trade this chart when we get this type of a pattern, because now we have a double bottom and we don't know whether price is just going to retrace or is it going to pull back all the way. So what are we looking for? So this is when we would go to a different chart and find a better candlestick setup to take. However, so at this point, what I'm looking for a price to potentially test this level again and maybe bounce off of that. But if it closes below this level, then we're looking for price to go into the next support and resistance level. So let's take a look. So I'm saying price may come test this level again and then bounce off of that level. So let's see what we get here. And now we are closing into the bottom of this pin. So we are right into our support level. We haven't closed below. That means there is still a chance that price could push back up again. So I would be careful with this one. So here we go, price pulled back and then pushed back up again. And now we have another candlestick that is green. It didn't quite get to the low. So price hasn't really closed below this with any kind of a strong pattern. So what could happen here is price could push up from here. So let's see if that happens. So again, we're just sitting sideways here. So we need to see a close either above this previous support resistance level or below it. So either we need to see a close above this level and then we will turn bullish, or we need to see a close below this level and then we will turn bearish for a continuation pattern to the downside. So right now it's just sideways, 3 days in a row. Price hasn't really done much. So let's try again. So this is a neutral candle close. So now we have a close below this previous level. So I'm looking for price to pull back. And now we are already into the next support and resistance level. Actually, that kind of moved quite quickly. So this is bearish, but because we are into the next level of support, it could go back and test the previous level once again. So it could go up and before it continues lower. So let's see. There we go. So price pushed up. So now we have a bullish engulfing candle. I'm looking for price to potentially go higher again. Oh, did not. So it did not go above this previous level. So the previous levels a lot of time will react as or act as back test levels. So price will generally pull back into the previous support and resistance level and then fall from there. So similar to here, where price had gone into this previous support resistance level right here, pulled right into it and then dropped from here. So this one is a big drop. So we can expect some pullback, but we're looking for, but price is quite bearish here. So now we are looking back into here, into these levels. So price is bearish. We're looking for a bit of a pullback and then a continuation to the downside. So right now I'm looking for a pullback. See if we get that. We didn't, it just came all the way to the next level and then it pulled back. So now we are into some very important support level. And as we can see, price is bouncing off of that level. So when we come into a strong level like this, generally, like I mentioned before, there will be some buy orders either from people. So there will be some orders either from people who are closing out trades, all taking their profit, or just from buyers who are sitting at this, they have pending orders at these levels so that they can go into a retracement move. So now we have a bullish candle close, so looking for a pullback higher here. we get a pullback, looking for still another move to the upside. So here we are back into the support and resistance level. I think price could go all the way back higher here. Let's see. There we are. Price goes back to test this level. And now we are coming into resistance here. But I think it could still pull back. We still have a bullish candle, so we could go further up here. And it doesn't. So it gets stuck into this previous support and resistance. Now we have a bearish candle close. So now market direction has changed, and now I'm looking for this continuation of the previous move. So looking for price to drop from here. Let's see if that happens. It pulls back, goes and tests the same level once again, and then we have a bullish candle close here. But because there's a big pin, it is not completely bullish. So this one still has bearishness in it because of this pin here. So now I'm still looking for price to drop. So let's see if that happens. Here we are, very neutral candle close. So what price hasn't been able to do at this point is close above this level. And because the price hasn't closed above this level, it hasn't quite turned bullish. So what we have here is a drop, a pullback, and now I'm looking for another drop for price to come and test this level. However, if the price closes above here, we get a bullish candle close above here, then price will turn bullish and it can go further up all the way to this level. So right now it's very neutral. We do have a little bit of a bearishness in this candle because we have the red candle here. So let's see. So I'm still looking for price to drop. Here we go. So nice bearish engulfing candle. And now I'm looking for a bit of a pullback, potentially back into the support and resistance area, and still looking for price to drop further. So now we have turned bearish here. So it goes to the next level and then closes with the pin. So now we have a double bottom. So it did reach this level. We have a pin like this. This is a bullish pin bar here. So now I would be looking for price to pull up higher. So if we look to the left, we can see that this is the level that price had pushed off from previously. And as we can see, we had this nice move to the upside. Price is here again. So essentially we have a triple bottom here. 1, 2, 3. So now we're looking for price to move up higher. So the next thing we are looking from here is we're looking for price to move up higher. So let's take a look. It doesn't quite do much. It does have a lower high, but it's a bit of a doji, not really a good solid candle close. So still looking for price to push up higher here. And we don't really get much. So it looks like there's still bearishness in here. We have a pin bar. So price is having trouble with this level. So either we need to get a close below this support level, or we need to get a bullish candle close. So right now price is just going sideways. So here's our bullish candle here that we were looking for. So now we have a bullish candle close, looking for price to go and test this level once again. There's our candle. So this one is quite bullish. So looking for price to move up higher. Price is still struggling with this previous support and resistance. So now it's closing below it. That means it's not quite ready to go higher. So we could see price come back down again, back to this level. So I'm looking for price to drop from here. Not so much. So this was just a pullback for another move to the upside. So now we are strongly back into this area. We have a bullish candle close. So there's still bullishness in that candle. So looking for price to pull back and potentially move higher. So sideways, there we go, going higher, still looking for price to move up higher. And now it's getting stuck in the next support and resistance level right over here, this previous support and resistance level. So now we have this railroad reversal. So we have a bearish engulfing candle looking for price to drop back into this previous support and resistance level at 1.5650. So we are here, back here. So now we have pin on both sides, and then we have a small candle body. So this one is still bearish, but it's not overly bearish. So I would see this candle as neutral to bearish. So with this one, either we need to see a close below or we need to see a bullish candle close higher. So when we have this type of a candle on the daily chart, I would choose to go and look for another opportunity on a different chart. So this would not be my favorite to trade at this point because I'm looking for a solid candle close, either bullish, then we can go higher, or bearish, so we can go lower. So this one right now doesn't give us either one. So it's right in the middle. It's very neutral. So here we have bullish. So it's going sideways between these two levels here. So this is not a very good candle. Again, we have a big pin. The pin is the same size as the candle body, which makes it hard to trade because that makes it neutral as well. So we still have bullishness in here, but because of the pin, gives it somewhat of a neutral bias. So now we have a bullish pin bar. I'm still looking for price to go up higher because it hasn't broken the high. So we need to see a close on the other side here so we can take it higher. But this one is looking bullish. So I'd be looking for price to test the high and close above. So there we go. That's what that now we have this bullish. So when you see bullish pin bars, generally price moves higher. So we see a bullish pin bar, price pushes higher. That's the good thing about bullish pin bars. And again, the same thing, the opposite for the bearish pin bars. So with this one, looking for price to move higher still, that's a very solid candle close. So I would look for a pullback and a move higher. So we have a pullback and a move higher. So this is bullish as well, looking for price to go and test this high potentially. So that's kind of neutral, but still bullish because it's making higher highs and higher lows. So I'm still looking for price to move up higher. And now we are seeing a rejection. So this is not a completely solid bearish candle close, but shows that price is losing momentum now. So we are starting to see small candles. The candle bodies are getting smaller, and then we're seeing a red, which is not good. So with this one, again, this would not be the best candle to trade because we need to see a good solid candle. So when we are trading from daily chart, we only trade solid candle closes. So anything that is, let's say, a bullish pin bar type of setup is perfect because we're looking for price to go higher. When we have a solid candle close like this, that's good because we're looking for price to go higher. Any pins like this are good. But when we have this half candle, so half pin, half candle, that's not good. Same thing with this. We have half pin, half candle. Not the best candle to trade on a daily time frame. This is when we would go look at a different chart. So for this one, I want to see a close either to the high or to the low, so we can pick that direction. Right now it's neutral, so let's see. So now we have a bullish candle close. We are into resistance, but we have a bullish candle close. So I'm looking for a bit of a pullback and price to move higher. So here we have it, a little bit of a pullback, but now the candle is getting smaller again and we are into resistance here. So I'm looking for price to move up, but I would be concerned about something like this where price may pull back because now we're getting smaller candlesticks. And see how we got the same. This is what I was just mentioning, because when you see the price, the candlesticks start to get smaller, that means price could turn at that level. So again, we have a similar candlestick where we have small body pins on both sides. So this is not the best one to trade again. So now we have a bearish candle close. I'm looking for a bit of a pullback and a drop. So we got pullback, then we got a drop. So this is a bearish pin bar. So I like one of these. Now I'm looking for price to drop further into 1.5840 or back into the bottom of this candle here. We get a bullish candle close. So this is now starting to go sideways here. So again, sideways, not quite bullish. Now we are turning bullish. So we're starting to make a lower high. So this is starting to turn bullish. So now again, we are bullish. So it's getting smaller again, which means once price gets into this area, we could see price close bearish again. So let's see. There we go. So now we have a solid bearish candle close, looking for price to drop. So we could pull back and then drop. So pulled back a little, closed in the middle. Again, this is just sideways. So we do have a bit of a double top. So I would look for price to pull back and then drop from there. Let's see. So it pulls back all the way up, but this is a very solid candle close. So this could go a little higher and even go test the high here. Nope. So we are getting this lower high. So this is a nice candle close. So 3 times price has tried to break above, hasn't been able to. We're getting good solid candle closes. So now I'm looking for price to drop here. So we could get a pullback and then drop. There we go. Not much of a pullback. Oh, got a solid drop. And this candle is quite nice because it closes right into the bottom of the candle here. So looking for price to drop further. This is nice bearish candle. This is again another nice bearish candle. So those are the kind of candles that we want to trade, not this type where we don't have a clear direction. We want to trade this type of candles because they provide us good solid direction. So now looking for price to go further down here, lower into the previous support and resistance right into here. And not quite, so gave us a pullback. Still looking for price to drop because that's a pin on top. That means there's rejection, so still looking for price to drop. Price pulls back further, so now we are into previous support and resistance, and now we still have this big pin on top, which means we could still get price could still turn, but again, price could go test this level too before it turns. So the stop would have to be on the other side here, but I'm still looking for price to go lower. Here we go. So nice candle close, looking for price to go lower. Now we are neutral, still looking for it to come down. That's a good solid candle close, looking for it to drop. That's a good candle close, looking for it to drop. But notice how the candles are getting smaller. So this is a smaller candle. Same thing here. When the candle gets smaller, we have a potential for price to turn. So we're also starting to get into our support level. So we have to be careful. So again, we still have a bearish bias here. So let's see. Now the candle is getting even smaller. That means the price is losing momentum. So even though we are still bearish here, but now we are looking for price to turn. So still bearish. So here we go. So price has turned. So price didn't even go test the low here, just turned from here. But now we have a pin here, which means it can still drop further. So now we are going higher, still below this previous support and resistance, but there's more bullishness here. So let's see, we could still drop here. Now we are getting completely bullish here. So looking for price to go further. We are going sideways. Let's try again. Oh, that's just bad data. So let's see. So this means the price is going lower here. Just our data isn't very good here. So let's get through this. Okay, we went a little too far. All right, so what do we have here? So now we are seeing price go sideways. So we have a high of the range and we have a bottom of the range and price is just going sideways. So this is very much a range bound market. So from here, we have a bearish close looking for price to come back into the bottom of the range. There we are. So now we are at the bottom of the range. Price could do a test of this and then bounce back up again. There we have it, looking for price to go higher. Going higher, so now it's starting to get smaller candles, which means it could still come lower. There we go. Now we have broken below the previous low here. So looking for price to retest and then drop. So a bit of a retest, dropped, closed in the middle. So it's holding below this level. So if it holds, as long as it holds below, then looking for price to drop. And still looking for it to drop. So we're still holding below this previous support resistance level here. So that means we still have bearishness here. So went and did a back test here like we were looking at. And now we have a big pin, which means price is still holding below this previous support resistance level. So looking for it to drop. Now it goes back in. So that's a big solid bullish candle close, breaks the high, closes above the high, and closes right into the top of the candle. That means that's a good solid bullish candle close. So we're looking for price to go up higher. Looking for price to go up higher. That's a good solid candle close. That's a very good solid bullish candle close. Looking for it to go higher. Now it's starting to lose momentum because the candle's getting smaller. So that one's a good solid candle close. Looking for it to go higher. So that one's still bullish, looking for it to go higher. Now we are at the top of the range and we have a pin. So it went high, then came back and closed like this with a large pin on the top. So we still have bullishness in this candle because we have the green candle body, but the large pin on the top makes it, gives it somewhat of a bearish bias. So from here, price could turn. So let's take a look. It's pushing higher. And now we have that bearishness here. So looking for it to drop from here. Now we are going to the other side, just like we were going here. So pushing into the high. Now we need to see a close on the other side for it to go higher. So there's the close on the other side of the range. So that's quite bullish, looking for it to go higher. It's struggling with the support and resistance. Let's see. That's neutral. That's still neutral. We're seeing pins to the downside, which means it can still go higher. There you go. So now we have seen a close above our support resistance area. Now looking for price to go higher here. That's bullish. Now it reverses that completely. So if we go back and take a look at our support resistance level here, so we can see price is coming into this level here and it's bouncing off of that level. So that's a bearish candle close. That's railroad reversals of bearish engulfing candle close. So looking for it to drop from here. So it pulls back and then drops. So that's a large pin to the upside. So I'm looking for price to drop into this next level here, next level of support and resistance. Okay, so that's a nice bearish candle close. So looking for it to drop further. Okay, and that's still a good bearish candle close, looking for it to drop further. Here we are. Now we are starting to see pins on both sides. It still has bearish bias to it because overall it's dropping still and making lower highs and lower lows. But now the pin here, and we are into this next level of support and resistance, that could create a problem because if price closes bullish here, then we could go all the way. So in that case, we have a move to the upside, a pullback, and then continuation move to the upside. So let's take a look and see what we get here. So we still get a bearish candle close, so still looking for a drop. Now we got a big bullish candle close. So this is what happened here. Price came into this support and resistance and then could not hold below. So this is what happens when we're trading live as well. Price will come to test the bottom again and then bounces off of that. So now looking for price to go up higher here. So that's a very bullish candle close, looking for a pullback and then move higher. So we didn't get much of a pullback, so we're just moving higher here. The candle's getting smaller, so we're losing a little bit of momentum here, but still bullish, so looking for it to go higher. We did go higher, and now we have pulled back from there. So we went into this previous support and resistance, and then we have a bearish candle close. So now I will look for price to drop. It drops. That's a good solid bearish candle close, looking for it to drop further back into this support and resistance here. And it goes all the way to the bottom here. That's a very solid candle close. So looking for price to pull back and then potentially drop again. So that's our pullback. And it doesn't drop. So it gets stuck at the same level once again. So now we have a double bottom here. Price has moved up, very solid close above the previous highs. So I will look for a pullback and a further move to the upside. So let's see. So it needs to close on the other side for it to continue. There we go. So now we are closed right into the high. We've gotten past these candles here. So this was our pullback, and now we're moving up. So another pullback potentially and move higher. So it moved higher, and now we have a pin bar. So if we go back, let's see, where are we? So we're back into this support and resistance area here. So we have a pin bar. That means we have a bearishness now. So it could drop. Doesn't quite drop. It drops back into this previous level, right into the pin here, but doesn't go further. So that's still bullish. Now, for it to be completely bullish, it would have to close on the other side, because otherwise it could just test the high and then come back into the range. So, that's something we have to be mindful of. So still bullish, So I'm looking for price to test the high, and doesn't quite do that, so this drops from here. So this is why these inside candles can be quite tricky, because if the price does not close above, then many times they can just turn around. So we cannot go completely bullish on those kind of candles because of this reason. So now we have nice solid bearish candle close, looking for a pullback and then drop. So we got the drop and then the pullback. Now that's a bullish candle close. So I would be looking for price to move higher. So that was just merely a pullback. And now big drop. So now looking for price to pull back and drop. And let's see if it drops. There's the drop, pull back and drop. So it pulls back tiny bit and then drops. So now we have a bigger pin on the downside. So pulls back. Now we are into the same support and resistance level still. Now we are closing back into the bottom. So I'm looking for price to drop. We have this tweezer type of trade setup here. So still doing that. We need to see a solid close. Now we are back bullish again. So price is just essentially going sideways here. Hasn't been able to drop below the bottom here. Pulls back up again. So now we are bullish. So I'm looking for price to go higher. Here we are still looking bullish, looking for it to go higher. Not quite. So still it's at that support resistance level. So this one I wouldn't trade because the immediate trend is to the upside, but then we've got this red candle close with half a pin in the bottom. So it's bullish to neutral right now. So let's take a look. So completely neutral candle close. So this is again not a tradable candle, so we would skip it. Now we have a bearish and then bullish. They're still going sideways, but it's having trouble breaking the high here. So if it doesn't break the high and gives us a bearish, then we can see the price drop. So let's take a look. So now we get a big bullish candle close, and now we are bullish. And we went higher, but then got stuck at the previous support and resistance level. So that's a bearish pin bar, tiny one, but regardless, bearish pin bar. So looking for it to drop. Here's the drop. So now that's bearish candle close, looking for it to drop. Not quite, pulls back again. So it's just going sideways here. So either we need to see a close above the high, or we need to see actual real solid counter close to the downside for it to become bearish. So let's see. That's not a very good candle close either. So, but we are bullish here. So we are still bullish, looking higher. So let's see, that's a big candle close here. So we are back into almost into the highs. That's a very bearish engulfing candle close. Now looking for price to pull back and drop again. So it drops but closes as a doji, which means there's bullishness here. We are back into this previous support and resistance. Price bounces off of that level. So we could go higher. No, we closed below it. So the difference here is this candle could not break the high, but this one here has broken the low. So this is more bearish. So this one wasn't quite bearish, bullish. This one is more bearish, so looking for it to drop. Let's see. Pulls back, still looking for it to drop. Pulling back still, and that looks bullish, so we could go higher. And we are staying. So now we are into this small type of range. So we're starting to make a head and shoulders type of thing. So let's see if we can break below this level, because then we can continue lower. So we are bearish here. Having trouble with the support and resistance. And now bullish, more bullish, and we're bearish again. So it's just sideways, not going anywhere. So this is when we want to start looking at other pairs to trade, but that's a good bearish, solid bearish candle close. Off of this, I would be looking for price to drop. Drops a little bit, and it just cannot seem to be able to get through the support level. So bullish, so it could go test the high again here. There we are, still bullish, so it could go higher or it could get stuck here in this little bit of a zone. Oh, we're getting close, so that's quite bullish. So looking for further bullishness. We're back into the high, but we are still closing. And now the candle is getting smaller. So this candle is smaller than this one. So it's kind of losing momentum, but still bullish. So that's a good solid candle close. If you take a look here, we're back into the highs here. So we have to be careful with that one, but that's a bullish candle close. So looking for it to go higher. Not quite. So still looking for it to go higher. There we are. So now we are getting smaller in size and we are into our resistance, which means price could turn here. So we would have to be very careful. So again, this would not be a day that I would trade this chart. I would go look for something more solid like this one or this one or this one on a different chart. That would give us a better opportunity. So this one's still bullish, but we are into resistance. So it could turn around. So that's why I would wait and see. So now we are bullish. This one has gone on the other side, big pin to the downside, which means it tried to come down and then got rejected. So it went higher. So now I'm looking for price to go higher still. It doesn't quite do it. So this one is very, very neutral close. This could go either way. So again, we would go to a different chart. That's very bullish. So we are turning bullish. So it went up, then has come down. So it's still overall still bullish, but now we have to be careful because now we have gone, now we have seen our bullish candle close here. Okay, so now this is neutral, still holding above this previous support resistance level, but it could come and test this level. So here we are testing this level and it could test it again. So here's testing it again. Now it's very neutral. It could go either way like this. It could close bearish or it could close completely bullish. So this is again, we have to wait and see. So now we are bearish, looking for it to drop into the next level here. Just goes into this and then we're bullish again. And now we're just going sideways. So this is just not very good. So we dropped back into this area that I was talking about. Now we have a pin, so this could go higher. Again, neutral. So right now the price action is not the very best one. So when we get a neutral candle close, which means it can go either direction, so we have to wait for price to show us the direction before we engage in a trade. So here we are neutral. So now we are bearish. So looking for further bearishness. Having trouble, it's just struggling with this area right here. So we need to see it close below. The overall though, there's still bearishness in this move. There we go, looking for further bearishness, looking for further bearishness, looking for more bearishness. So this is where we want to really, like after this candle close, this is when we want to ride the trend. So we get into this move and we continue on till it starts to turn around. So this is bearish, so looking for it to drop. And now we are into the next support and resistance and we get bullish candle close. So the good thing about this type of a strategy is we get in at the close of this candle and then we have basically stayed in till it closes like this and then we get out. So we get 2-3 days of good moves to take advantage of. So now we are bullish, looking for it to go higher. Not a very solid candle close here, which means we're still bearish. So, but it could go into this pin here. Doesn't do that. So now we're bearish again, looking for a further drop. That's very bearish, looking for a further drop. Now we are bearish again. We are into support though. So now we are back into this level. So still bearish. So let's see. Now we are neutral. This is when we exit the trade. So we got another couple days of downwards move here. So here it could go either way. So this is when we would go look for a different chart and look for a different opportunity. So next thing here, looking for price to give us a direction. So still looking bearish. So let's see if it will drop. That one's looking bearish. So we're closing below this previous candles here. So still looking bearish. That is a nice solid bearish candle close. So still looking bearish. That's a nice solid candle close. Again, we're looking for further bearishness. Now we're looking for price to go into the support level here. And here we are back into that support resistance level. And now price has given us a big pin. And this is what I was talking about when we come into these large support and resistance areas where price, see how price had bounced off and stayed above. Now we are back into that level. So now price could just come test this level again and then start to go higher. All right, so I think we should call it a wrap here. So we have gone through quite a few months of our data here. We have looked at some candlesticks, and that's really how we are looking to analyze the charts. So this type of bar by bar analysis can be done on a daily chart, on a weekly chart, on an hourly, 4-hourly chart. I would not recommend it on a 5-minute chart because the moves are not that big. So really, what are we looking for in terms of the strategy? With this one, we're looking at a daily chart. And once we get a good solid daily candle close like this, we're looking for to ride that trend for the next couple of days. As we can see, price drops. We can exit here. Once price gives us a good solid candle close, we enter the trade short again, and we kind of stay with it till we kind of get something like this. Now this is a danger zone because we are into support, and now price could turn around. So that's the idea. So that's why this is very simple. All we're looking for is support and resistance and the type of daily candle we get. So that's it. So that's a simple strategy. And so give it a try on your demo account or Forex Tester account, or just go bar by bar on your charts and see how what kind of results you get. See if the price will move in the direction that you expect it to. And I also do this on a daily basis. So in the evening when I'm preparing for the next day, I will do this bar by bar analysis, and based on where the price is, I tried to project the next move, sorry. All right, so that's it. I'm losing my voice here, so we'll call it wrap. You guys have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you again tomorrow for another one of these sessions. And just like I said before, we are just swinging the bat, and we'll see how it goes. So you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.